The greatest chess players in the world are often heralded as geniuses, and even hobbyist chess players are often regarded as intelligent. As someone who's dedicated countless, even disgusting number of hours to this game, I wanted to try and justify my obsession. So I did some research and found out once and for all, does playing chess really make you smarter? To determine whether chess really does make you more intelligent, we first will need to define what intelligence and smartness really is. Well, intelligence is a very complex idea. It encompasses a number of cognitive ideas like reasoning, problem solving, comprehension. One study led by Burgoyne aimed to find the correlation between chess ability and various cognitive abilities, including fluid reasoning, comprehension knowledge, processing speed, short-term memory. The study found a correlation coefficient of 0.24. Now, for those of you who haven't had to suffer through the morbidity of correlation coefficient and all that rubbish, that essentially means that it's trying to examine the association between two different variables. It's trying to associate the strength and the direction of that. So a correlation of 0.24, finding the association between chess ability and cognitive abilities, is somewhat positive, but hardly concrete evidence. The researchers concluded it was found that learning chess had a positive influence on the development of both numerical and verbal aptitudes, although a correlation coefficient of 0.24 might not be strong enough to make such a definitive claim. So while Burgoyne's study is trying to shoehorn in potentially that chess does lead to improved intelligence, I wanted to do a bit of digging to see if there was some other study that looked at chess over a longer period of time. Playing chess does require intense concentration, pattern recognition, strategic thinking, and although I'm pretty terrible at all of those, I wanted to see whether maybe using these would have an improved effect on students in the long run. So I did a bit of digging and found a study in Venezuela. After 4.5 months of study in Venezuela, students were found to have improved IQs. By integrating chess into their curriculum, not as an intense daily 7-hour ritual, but rather as a hobby on the side, it was found that their IQs improved. Similar studies in Germany and the USA also reported improvements in IQ, but they also noted improvements in mathematics and reading comprehension, all by integrating chess into the curriculum. Sticking with this theme of IQ then, some of the strongest grandmasters in the world are rated around 2600, with an IQ of around 160 plus, whereas some of the very strongest grandmasters have a ELO rating of around 2800, similarly having an IQ of around 180. To put this into perspective, the average IQ is around 100, and the median range on chess.com is about 1200. However, it is important to note that IQ is a maybe slightly controversial means of measuring intelligence. For one, it doesn't include emotional or social intelligence, which is perhaps why, admittedly, most chess players are slightly socially inept. As a fairly terrible player myself, I'm going to have to come up with a different excuse. Schools that have included chess into their curriculum have noted better behaviour and better academic results. One potential reason for chess's success in schools' curriculums by boosting behaviour and academic results is potentially how it feeds into the very idea of learning. It's a game of 8 squares by 8 squares. While there's an infinite number of moves and there's a ridiculous number if you want to go look it up, there's a very finite number of patterns. The same patterns will crop up again and again and again. And the very way we learn is by strengthening our neural connections and by repeating these same actions. Valuable life skills like patience and discipline and thinking ahead will all be repeatedly employed playing chess. They're not these one-off moments. There's never one time in chess when you're only ever employing one of these. In fact, they're being used time and time and time again. I'm also very much a believer in trying to keep the brain at a slightly higher level when going on rests. As someone who does frequently end up leaving hours of work to do for myself, it's very useful rather than completely switching off on breaks and taking in all the endless brain rot that there is on the internet these days. Instead, by playing something like chess, I'm still using my brain at a slightly higher level, so I'm not completely switching off, but equally, I'm still giving my brain a chance to relax and to enjoy itself. Maybe it's not the chess itself that's helping students improve their behaviour in academics, but rather it's the opportunity to stimulate their brain in such a way that they enjoy themselves whilst also keeping their brain at a high functioning level. Is it worth playing chess? Well, yes, but not just to improve intelligence. I certainly think that it's incredibly rewarding, if not incredibly infuriating, to try and climb the rating ladder. But it also clearly fosters many cognitive abilities. As I say, there's plenty of pattern recognition, and every loss is an opportunity to see whether you can strive on and learn from your mistakes and see where you went wrong. But one of the greatest chess players of all time, Paul Morphy, said a quote that I think sums up this video pretty well. He said, "The ability to play chess is the sign of a gentleman, but the ability to play chess well is the sign of a wasted life." So while it's very important to try and foster our creativity and our problem solving and thinking ahead and all these values that these studies purport, it's also important not to waste so much time on it that in trying to improve these peripheral abilities, we lose track of the rest of our academic performance. The studies that showed the best improvement were those where the students used chess to supplement their learning rather than as a replacement. Maybe these are the words of someone who knows he'll never become a grandmaster or international master or national master or whatnot, but it's certainly the words of an envious person who's still stuck at the same rating after about 2 years. So if you're on the fence about starting chess, I'd say go ahead and make your move. It's something I've been incredibly grateful to play over the last few years. It's put me in some of my worst moments and some of my best, which is potentially the sign of a wasted life actually now I think about it. But I'd thoroughly recommend it. The rewards, both tangible and intangible, are well worth the effort.